Okay, this is the review for the Tokina 100mm f2.8 Pro lens for Nikon and also Canon. I have the Nikon lens here though. I bought this in Malaysia. Here's my unboxing. You can hardly tell it was ever on. Whoa! I'm a little bit rough with my stuff. Kenko Tokina International Warranty. This is made in Japan. Instruction manual, because if you don't know how to attach your lens to your camera, then you're in trouble. I paid $18 to import this into Thailand. This lens will work with just about every Nikon camera, DSLR, in the world. This hood will work with this camera. This is the BH551 hood. I don't really use a hood because I'm not shooting in the daytime much where there's sun. Sometimes at night when I'm shooting macro, right, with the flash. So if there's a lot of people with headlamps shining, I might use the hood just to keep the stray light out. But for the most part, I don't shoot with that. I don't shoot with a filter at all, ever. I just don't like anything between the lens and my subject. Takes 55mm filters. This lens, I forgot to show you, has a metal mount, which is some indication of quality. If you buy a plastic mount, you know they're cheaper, but they're just junk. So this lens has the metal mount, which is great. This lens is built like a tank. You have a couple options. You could buy this lens, or you could buy the Nikon 100mm f2.8 lens from Nikon. I prefer this by 2 times as much, maybe 3 times as much. I really love this lens. This lens weighs 18 ounces. It's very heavy, and it's about 515 grams, I think it is for Europeans. But it's so solidly built. It's like a tank. And I was looking at this as I did this video like 3 times already. There is not one mark on this entire lens after 9 years. I've used this lens for 9 years. It's absolutely perfect. It's flawless. There's a little bit of a mark here on the metal. Maybe it even comes off. It does. It's flawless. This lens is the strongest, most solid, most ergonomic lens I've ever used in my life. Love it to death. The price on this lens right now today is like $400 at B&H Photo or Amazon. I got mine on eBay in Hong Kong for like $500. This was, years ago. But the ratings on this lens are phenomenal. At Amazon, it's something like 4.8 out of 5 for hundreds of reviews. Everybody loves it. At kenrockwell.com, this guy reviews a lot of lenses and compares them to like the brand name, like to Nikon and Canon and everything. He loves this lens. He gave it 5 out of 5 in like 5 or 6 different categories, except one, mechanics. And I think that's because when you manual focus, you can see the barrel comes out real far like this. And then when you're trying to focus on something macro, it's hard to get it exactly. You got to move the camera in and out as well. A lot of cameras will focus, will have this internally, and you won't have to worry about that. Anyway, so he gave it a 4 out of 5. It got great reviews everywhere that I looked. It got great reviews, B&H as well. The camera, the lens is easy to switch from autofocus to manual. There's a sliding, slippy disc here. Ken calls it a clutch. It is sort of like a clutch. And it makes manual focusing really nice. There's a limiting switch here so that you can make it focus faster if you're not doing macro stuff. So what that means is if you hit, right now it's on full. You will go the full range from macro all the way to infinity. And that means that the focus is a little bit slower. Or you can put it on limit, and that will limit it from macro, from the edge of macro, all the way out to infinity. So it's got less range to cover, so the focus is actually faster. So this will help you like if you're outdoors shooting portraits or something like that. And then the lens is fast enough. It's not blazing speed, you know, but it's fast enough. This lens has no vibration reduction. So what that means is, well, you may not even need it. I shoot macro in the rainforest all the time with snakes and geckos and lizards and centipedes and stuff. So I've always got my flash on, always. This flash and other flashes, like, so my sync speed is 1/200th of a second. I don't ever have to worry about vibration reduction. Unless I'm shaking like this, I mean, it's gonna give me a good shot. So you may not need it. If you're outside and shooting something, I don't know when you would really need it. I guess when you're not using flash and maybe it's a rather slow shutter speed. But those times I think are gonna be few and far between. This lens works with Nikon full frame cameras. It also works with DX. So you can put it on any camera. The one that I'm filming with now is the D5100, you know, with the flippy screen. And this one will not focus on there automatically. It will focus on just about everything else. Some of the cheap, the inexpensive DSLRs from a long time ago, the D3000, the D3100, the D5000, 5100, it won't autofocus on those. You have to manually focus, which is impossible at night, you know, if you're doing macro. So just keep that in mind. Let's see, what else can I tell you? That's about it. It's not a technical review. This is more like I want to show you the photos that I shot. I want to tell you how well built this is compared to Nikon's $1,000 lens. You can get this for $400. You could drop this 2.5 times and still then you'll pay as much as a Nikon lens. So it's, at least here in Thailand I would. It's extremely well built. I can't even mark it up. There's literally not one mark on this thing anywhere. I cannot mark it up. In 9 years, I've dropped this thing, I've fallen on top of it, and still it's perfect. So yeah, the Tokina Pro lenses, I have another wide angle one as well, are just phenomenal. Highly, highly suggested. All right, I'll skip to my photos now, and hopefully you'll see not what an amazing photographer I am, because I'm not all that good, but you'll see how crisp and clear the photos can be with this lens. All right, hope that helps everybody. Thumbs me up if you can, if you would. And I have a bunch of stuff to review, so keep coming back to Dialed Tech. Cheers.